So if this looks a little bit familiar, we're back at the pumpkins, but not for the bees this time. It's the first weekend of the pumpkin picking season, and they have a little artisan tent here, and we've got a little store set up in here. Loving dry. It's actually really warm as well, so hopefully we're in for a good day. Promise this week a little bit more on the bees. I'm knackered, I've only walked up the hill twice. So we're just back at our Langstroth site, putting more feed on, last of the treatments. So I've just been up there, and it's not particularly red hot today or sunny, but these bees are working hard, so definitely on the ivy. But walking around, you can, I'm not saying it will be giving much nectar, but there's new balsam, in fact, you see the bees going in, there's new balsam flowers coming up, and the bees are still working what little balsam is left. So I'll just show you these full-size colonies. So they're working hard. Bright yellow pollen coming in, and then these are the nukes from the pumpkins. Again, very, very busy. Lots of pollen, white stripes on the back, so they are still on the balsam. So I always said I'll show you the good and bad. So these are the nukes that came back for the pumpkins. So we had 2 weeks when they first went in there, and the nectar was unbelievable. They just couldn't put enough away. But then obviously they've struggled quite a bit since. Plenty of pollen, but really light on stores. So this colony, with a few like this on this site, they're not the biggest, and they are desperate for feed. So they're over 3 frames, which I suppose is not bad, but if I'd have left it any longer to get syrup into these, they'd have been really struggling. So caught them just in time. Like I said, there are a handful that came back from the pumpkins that are like that. I did give them a bit of feed up there with the hope that it would just tide them over, but they've obviously consumed all that and are desperate for more. So again, we're over at the sunflower site. The sunflowers have obviously finished now. We've just taken all the supers off, but the amount of late season pollen coming in is unreal. So only 2 fields away there's SFI crops. Now, I've said it a couple of times, obviously I did the reel on TikTok about the SFI with Ollie. Now, those of you who are lucky enough to be near it know the benefit of it. So obviously the amount of nectar it gives and pollen for these bees, it's not the most it's not the tastiest honey, and I don't mean that it's got a bad taste to it. It's a little bit bland. The amount of nectar it gives and how far it brings these bees on is unreal. that's how it, that SFI now, they'll be struggling. There'll be bits of ivy, but that's probably about it round here. But they're bringing in an abundance of nectar. I've just checked on stores inside, and at the moment I don't need to add any syrup to these. I mean, they will get some, but I'm going to hold off another couple of weeks because like I said, they're on a massive flow with that the SFI crop, and looking really good for it. So yet another site and yet more busy bees. So again, these are still on a flow and looks to be more nectar than pollen. I can't see much pollen going in. Oh, there's a little bit on that one, but yeah, nectar. Again, it's going to be an SFI crop. Miles rang last week, obviously all the clover which was on the field now has now been mown off. That's part of the deal with the SFI. We're growing the clover, it's got to be mown off at this time of year now, so it goes back into the ground and then that'll come back next year then. So but yeah, they're obviously onto something. What, I don't know, but not complaining. So again, treatment's on, feed on, super's off, job done. So it is Wednesday, it's 6:30 in the evening. A little bit gutted, it was the Bee Farmers AGM today and I had to give it a miss. Other appointments, one being NatWest in Manchester, important day there. And also I'm just outside a place in Widnes. I've got a public speaking event tonight, so I couldn't risk getting stuck on the motorway. So what I'll do, I've just arrived, I'll go and get set up, I'll set you up at the back of the room and I'll show you a little bit of what we're doing. If you are an organisation or a beekeeping group or society or anything watching this and you're looking for public speakers to talk about how we got into beekeeping, how we go about a few things, and I promise you it is interesting, but I don't want to give too much away. Give us a shout out, drop us a message or an email, comments in the usual places, and we'll see about getting you in there and coming visiting you. So it's a little after 11 o'clock. I've just arrived home after doing my little bit of public speaking. Went down really well. It's always a good crack, to be fair. So like I say, anybody out there interested in listening to what we have to say, it's obviously beekeeping with a little bit of a twist. So unpack the truck now, quick shower and bed because my eyes are on fire. And I've got a busy day on the nukes again tomorrow, so no, see you tomorrow. Morning. Just got into the unit now, and that tell you is pretty much how I'm feeling this morning. Deflated and a little bit empty. I need some energy. So quite cold today. I think it says 5 degrees. On the temperature gauge, so a little bit fresh, but it is forecast to warm up to 10-11 degrees. So more feeding today of nukes, as I said last night. So I'm going to sort that tyre out and then I can drag the trailer around and feed all those nukes at Ormskirk, and what else have we got today? Oh, local site as well, mate in April. So yeah, crack on with that. Just check my seatbelt in my door. So we just got up to one of our nuke sites then, and plenty of flight even though it's freezing cold, and I know why. It's because they're on all those sunflowers. How fantastic does that look? So it won't be giving much nectar, if any at all, at this time of year and the temperatures, but they will be getting an abundance of natural pollen, which will be bringing them on no end, these nukes. So yeah, looks fantastic, and obviously it's again part of the SFI scheme, so these will all be winter bird feed eventually. So not only do we benefit from them, but the songbirds in winter. But every single nuke is looking great. So I've literally just come up to put a little bit more feed on. Probably give these another week until these sunflowers finish, and then they'll go to the other one of our overwintering sites. So this side of the field's much thicker, much denser, and a lot more height to it. The size of heads on these. So obviously these ones have just gone over. There's probably, you can see the sunflowers starting to form underneath. There's loads of fresh growth. I mean, these ones haven't even opened yet, so like I say, well, a little bee buzzing about here, just looking for more forage. Like I say, they won't be giving loads of nectar, need the warmth for that, but certainly be giving the pollen, which is much needed at this time of year. Store that away, raise more winter bees on it. But yeah, definitely happy about that. So more feeding, more checks. So these wooden nuke boxes had cells in. We put cells in, what, 3 weeks ago or so? So the weather's not been great, but we may have been a little bit lucky and they may have got out and got mated, but if not, we're just going to combine them with some with probably some of the smaller colonies, just to get them on a get those a little bit bigger, ready for winter. So what we got here, about 40 odd nukes or so on this one. So I'll bit of break in the weather, the sun's out, so there's a few bee flat, a bit of bee flat going on, still a bit of balsam, some fresh balsam flower in here as well, like I said, at the other side. So that's just keeping them going that little bit.